Welcome to another edition of Bet with Bobano, Wednesday, August the 28th. Ian Cameron with you. The remainder of the MLB board is what we will be discussing. There were a few afternoon games. I don't even want to know what the hell happened in Pittsburgh with the Cubs-Pirates. That game's just nuts. You're looking at the score right now. You think it's Bears-Steelers. Holy fuck, 14-10 in the bottom of the ninth inning. 2 touchdowns for the Bears, touchdown and a field goal for the Steelers. Crazy shit there with the Cubs and the Pirates. But we will get to the remaining of the MLB card here in just a moment. And as always, we're going to start by talking about bitwallet.bet. College football week 1 starts tomorrow night, Thursday. NFL next week. Great time to consider new sportsbook options, and especially if you have cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever cryptocurrency you may have investment in. Now's a great time to maybe pull some of that investment out and put it into a crypto sportsbook and casino account at bitwallet.bet, because I have, and it is an excellent sportsbook. You get all the major sports options, North American and international sports. The live betting menu is phenomenal. Live betting same game parlays is not widely available at every book, but you can do that here at bitwallet.bet. Live dealers for casino games as well. Sign up with the affiliate link that you see on the screen, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Click that affiliate link, sign up for an account, and you will be eligible for 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits with BitWallet. So again, make sure you click that affiliate link. It will also be posted, as it always is, below the video in the comments section on YouTube, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Click that link, use that link to sign up for a brand new account. And after you do that, you will be eligible for a 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at BitWallet. Also, we want to remind you, of course, of the fact that, it's that time. We've got NFL college football season on the horizon. Dub Club, every wager, side totals, player props, everything, every day, every sport. 1 month all sports, $75. 3 months all sports, $200. 6 months all sports, now up to the regular price of $400. You guys had 2 months to take advantage of it, down to $250. That offer is gone now. So unfortunately, it's back to the normal price, but still, $400 for 6 months of all sports, which will be the entire NFL and college season, which will be the rest of the MLB and CFL season, which will be a huge portion of the NHL, NBA, and college basketball season, because the subscription will run right until the end of February in 2025. It is still worth subscribing, even now that it's back to the regular price of $400 for 6 months all sports, and 1 year all sports, $750. And that's actually the best bargain of all. $750 for the entire year. It would go, especially now at this time of year you sign up, it's basically the whole calendar year of sports. All football, all hockey, all basketball for the entire next calendar year. All of that included. Rest of the MLB and CFL, a September to September kind of subscription for $750 if you go the 1 year all sports subscription option at Dub Club. So again, there you see that. And again, the URL is on the screen there, dubclub.win/r/Bobano. The link to Dub Club, of course, is also on my Twitter X profile. And all the subscription options are there for your disposal. Now's the time of year to sign up. And again, hockey. I know a lot of people sign up with me for hockey specifically. Don't forget that it is only a month away. It's crazy how quickly the NHL season comes upon us, but definitely looking forward to that. Now, the Dub Club subscriptions are all high volume. If you're looking for something with a lower volume approach, not as many wagers daily in all sports, and you're looking for specifically just top plays and best bets only in all sports, then SoBet would be the option you would probably prefer. It's just $9.95 per month. And again, you'll get best bets and top plays only. Low volume approach with SoBet. All right, let's get into the rest of this MLB slate. We've got a lot of games on tap. There's a couple that just started. Let's go to San Diego and St. Louis. We've got Joe Musgrove and Andre Palante. Actually, you know what? Sorry, we've got these 6 Eastern starts first to go through. My bad. Let's start with Angels and Tigers. Canning and Engler, the pitching matchup here. Detroit -160, home favorites, 9 the total here in this game. Cashed a ticket with Detroit team total last night. I know I mentioned it on the show yesterday. Fading Johnny Cueto, who is typical Johnny Cueto, broken down old pitcher who shouldn't be in the big leagues anymore. I think I said something to that effect on Twitter X as that game was unfolding last night. There it is. Here's my Twitter X post from last night. I sure hope we see more Johnny Cueto moving forward. Thank you, LA Angels, for bringing his old broken down ass back to the big leagues so that I can fade away. And that's precisely what I did last night in successful fashion, taking the Detroit Tigers over their team total. Again, not a whole lot of confidence did I have in Johnny Cueto last night, and he more than lived up to the billing. This game tonight, I kind of like the same angle here. Tigers specifically isolating their team total over 4.5. Not a big fan of Griffin Canning either. Now, Griffin Canning's not the old fart that Cueto is, nor has he had quite the amount of injury history that he's had, but he's just not he's a below average arm. He's a below average pitcher. He's not someone I trust to get outs. He has a 5.18 ERA on the season. You look at his last 2 starts, 11 runs allowed in 11.1 innings against the Nationals and the Braves. He got crushed essentially in both of those games. In theory, this is a Tigers team that should be able to do some damage against him tonight. Doesn't have a good track record against the Tigers either. He's given up 9 runs in his last 12 innings pitching against Detroit. So he hasn't pitched well against this team in the past either. So I think Tigers can score some runs. What are you going to get from Mason Englert, who's going to be a spot starter? That's going to be the question. I mean, his overall numbers aren't really that great. He does pitch a little better, though, at home, so hopefully that goes well for him. You know, I consider the full game over, too, but I'm just sick and tired of, trusting the LA Angels to hit and score runs. They are a putrid offensive team, and there's been situations where even mediocre and bad pitching can make them look bad. And you look at this Angels team, during this 6-game losing streak, they haven't been scoring. And you look at the last 3 games in particular, the final 2 games of the Blue Jays series, the game last night where they lost 6-2, they have scored 2 runs or less in 3 straight games. That's just not a very good offensive team right now. So I don't fully trust the Angels, even against a guy like Englert, to score runs. I would be more comfortable just trusting Detroit against a very porous pitcher in Canning, and we know the Angels' bullpen is no good. So I'm probably going to run it right back. Tigers team total over 4.5, just like last night. All right, we move along. We've got the Athletics and the Reds. Osvaldo Bido on the mound here for the Oakland Athletics, and we've got Fernando Cruz here on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. We've got Cincinnati minus 125 home favorites, 10 the total, shaded to the under. They're fading Osvaldo Bido, but he's actually pitched pretty well. Outside of one start against coincidentally enough, the Angels, who I just said couldn't hit, and yet the Angels actually put a 7 spot up against him. But other than that, Bido, he's only given up 3 runs in his last 2 starts combined, shut out the Blue Jays in 6 innings in his last start. Now, we haven't seen him in 18 days. He's back in the rotation now. We'll see how he fares. Fernando Cruz, we'll see how he pitches. He's making a spot start. The Reds are just ravaged right now by starting pitching injuries, and that's been their big problem. They've got Hunter Green on the IL. They've got Andrew Abbott on the IL right now. I mean, their starting pitching rotation is devastated right now by injury. And so as a result, they have no choice but to put in a guy like Fernando Cruz in a spot start. So that's the problem. Only 4 healthy starters right now on this Reds rotation. So as a result, they got to put in a guy like Cruz. We'll see how he fares here in this game. Am I ready to trust him to step up and pitch well? We'll see. I'm telling you what, 10, I get it. Cincinnati, it's going to be pretty warm. But Bido's pitched okay in the last 2 starts. I mean, we saw the under cash last night. Total seems a little high, believe it or not, to me in that game. But I didn't get involved. It's a pass for me with that one, Oakland and Cincinnati. All right, Yankees and Nationals. We've got a battle of lefties here. Carlos Rodon, Mackenzie Gore. Yankees minus 200 road favorites, 9 the total in this game. I think this could be an over, quite honestly. Certainly with Mackenzie Gore on the mound. Still, to me, he's one of the more disappointing pitchers in baseball. I expect so much more than what we have seen from him, and he's just been crushed repeatedly. Actually, he was better in his last start against Atlanta, but the other 3 starts in August, he gave up at least 5 runs in all of them. Not someone I'm really ready to back and fully trust here in this game. And same thing goes for Rodon. Rodon has a good start. He usually has a bad start after that. That's kind of been the pattern, and he was great against the Rockies the last time we saw him, but he's not someone that's been able to string together a lot of consistency. So I think over 9 is the way I would go in this game. I think the Yankees can probably get to a struggling Mackenzie Gore. You look at the bullpen really for both teams, and especially of late, it's not been great. Even the Yankee bullpen has had some issues lately. So I think both teams can probably plate some runs here in this game tonight. Again, another mild night, slight wind blowing out. So over of 9 here, Yankees Nationals, that does interest me here in this game. All right, we got the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Chris Bassett, Brian Bayo. Boston minus 140, home favorites, 9 the total in this game. I think the Blue Jays have value again. I don't love it because of Bassett. Bassett's an enigma. Sometimes he can just roll in and dominate, and then there's other times he's been absolutely hammered. You're never quite sure what you're going to get with Chris Bassett. And the one thing Chris Bassett's had a problem with all season is he's got that one bad inning, it seems, in every start, where one bad inning he gives up like 3, 4, or 5 runs. And it's what ends up hurting him and hurting his team. So that's definitely something that would concern me here. His road ERA is not bad. We'll see how he fares here against the Red Sox. He actually has pitched okay against the Red Sox this year. Just 2 runs allowed in the 2 previous starts for Chris Bassett against Boston this year. And I'm no big fan of Brian Bayo. He is not someone that's had an overly successful season. 4.95 ERA. He's had worse numbers all year at Fenway, 5.54 ERA, crushed by Arizona over the weekend, 5 runs in 5.1 innings. Jays should be able to do some damage. Jays crushed him back in June here at Fenway. 7 runs, June the 25th, over against Brian Bayo for this Blue Jays team in a 9-4 win. Jays an over of some kind of combo with that. I'd look at Toronto at the plus money. I think the over's also in play at 9 as well in this game. So that's probably the approach for me with the Jays and Red Sox would be Jays and over. All right, Atlanta and Minnesota. We've got Chris Sale and David Festa on the mound here. Braves minus 130, road favorites, 7.5 the total. 2 teams kind of going in opposite directions. Minnesota, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're losing ground on both Kansas City and Cleveland in the AL Central race. I mean, they're still only 2.5 back, but they're definitely losing ground. They're not gaining ground on either of those teams. This is an important game. They need to stop the bleeding, but there's no way they have the better pitcher. David Festa is just a bullpen fringe, league average type of arm. He gave up 3 runs in 3.2 innings in his last start against St. Louis. See how he fares here. And meanwhile, you've got Chris Sale, who just continues to roll along as one of the comeback players of the year. Braves are 4-1 in his last 5 starts. He's given up just 2 runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts as well. He's been great for the Atlanta Braves. The one concern would be the Twins against lefties have done pretty well most of the season, but I'm not sure that's going to be something I'm willing to guarantee here tonight in this game against Chris Sale with the form he's in. So it's not easy to sweep a team, but Atlanta's won the first 2 games. They are the team in better form right now. Probably the better starter on the mound. For me, it's Braves or pass for me. All right, next up, we've got, as we continue along here, now we can talk San Diego, St. Louis. I'm not stepping in front of the Padres. This lineup is rolling. They're the better team. But I'm a little reluctant to lay a price with Musgrove still on the road, especially because they're still, keeping him on a pitch count. They're not trying to overwork him early in the season. So that's definitely a little something that would concern me about taking San Diego. And another thing that would concern me is Palante has all of a sudden come on strong here. These last few starts for Palante have been very good. So he's definitely in better form. He's in pitching pretty well the last few times he's taken the mound. So that's enough to keep me off San Diego in this game. But I certainly don't want to go against the Padres either with the way they're hitting at the moment. All right, San Francisco, Milwaukee. We have Kyle Harrison, Freddie Peralta, the pitching matchup. Milwaukee minus 170, home favorites, 8 the total, shaded to the under in this game. little value on San Francisco, I think, just because, Freddie Peralta's not been lights out by any stretch of the imagination. Now, he hasn't been brutal, but I don't think he's been nearly as dominant as we've seen from Freddie Peralta in years past. 3.86 ERA, 4.3 ERA at Miller Park. Meanwhile, you've got Kyle Harrison, the lefty, and he's pitched pretty solid. 4 of his last 5 starts have been pretty decent, 3 runs or less. He's given his team a chance to win. Milwaukee is still a very, for years, they haven't been good against lefties. They've been a little bit better hitting southpaws of late, but the long-term numbers show they've struggled more often than not against lefties. We'll see how they fare in this game. San Francisco's got an above 500 record here, their last 10. They've started to play a little bit better. I don't know. I just think Milwaukee just a tad overpriced here. Lean to the Giants here at a plus price for me. All right, moving along. Texas Rangers, Chicago White Sox. We've got Jack Leiter on the mound for the Rangers. I believe Touki Toussaint is going to be the primary pitcher here for Chicago. Minus 170 road favorites. Texas, 9 the total. If that's indeed the case, and I'm just waiting for confirmation on the White Sox side here, but I think we're going to see some Touki Toussaint here. The over becomes in play for me. I know Chicago is an offense that we can't always trust. I get that. But Touki Toussaint's not a bet-on pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Rangers can do some damage. And, maybe at some point for Jack Leiter, things are going to get rolling for him. But all I know at the big league level, the numbers are brutal. Is he going to be good at some point? Second overall pick a few years ago? Yeah. But my goodness, we've seen him in a major league game 3 times this year. You know how many runs he's given up? 19. 19 runs allowed by Jack Leiter in a span of, 9 innings. I mean, he's been absolutely hammered. Now, they hope he's figured some shit out down there in the minors and he's ready. But I'm going to have to see it before I believe it. It would be the over or nothing for me when it comes to the Rangers and the White Sox. All right, moving along. We've only got a couple of games left. Mets and Diamondbacks. We've got Miami, Colorado. Meyer and Freeland, the pitching matchup. Colorado minus 130, home favorites, 11 the total. Rockies and over. Freeland at home has usually been bet on for me this year. Now, we don't see the Rockies favored a lot, but they're favored here for a reason. Freeland's the better arm over Meyer. Meyer is not someone I trust. Meyer struggled and given up runs, and now he's got to pitch in this difficult environment of Coors Field. I think the over's in play too. Again, another high total of 11, but we've got a warm night and the wind blowing out. And as soon as you see the wind blowing out in Colorado at Coors Field, that could easily mean that we're going to see some crooked numbers on the scoreboard. So Colorado minus 130, over 11 would be what I'd be looking at there with that game. All right, now we go to the Mets and the Diamondbacks. Luis Severino for the Mets, Eduardo Rodriguez for the Diamondbacks. Arizona minus 120, minus 125. Home favorites, 9 the total, shaded to the under. We'll see what we get from Severino. He is someone that one game to the next, you're never quite sure what's going to pop up in regards to his performances. 3.84 this season. He is coming off back-to-back quality outings, complete game shutout against the Marlins, and then a solid 1-run effort against San Diego. Now, there are some numbers that point to a little bit of regression for him. We'll see if that's indeed the case. Eduardo Rodriguez for Arizona. He's been okay, but he's not pitched, deep into the game. That's something you want to keep in mind. We'll see how he pitches tonight, but this is a game too where both bullpens. You look at what you've seen from them too in the last little bit. They've been up and down. I would lean over here. It was a high-scoring game last night. I did like the over last night with the Mets and the Diamondbacks. Would lean that way here in this game. Arizona, I told you about that spot too, didn't I? I said they've won 6 in a row, but I don't want to take them. And they were only laying minus 110. It's almost like they wanted to really take Arizona. They're red hot, but they're off a long-ass road trip, day off in between, coming back home, and sure enough, they lose 8-3 to the Mets. It didn't feel like a great spot for Arizona, and boy, am I glad that I ended up staying off them. I would lean over, though, here in this game tonight with the Mets and the Diamondbacks. All right, and our final game for this Wednesday night MLB slate, Baltimore Orioles, LA Dodgers. Corbin Burns for the Orioles, Walker Buehler for the Dodgers. Even money, minus 110, both sides, 8.5 the total. This is a clear as day over for me. These pitchers are in brutal form right now. I think Corbin Burns can turn it around at some point. But when you're getting absolutely waylaid and you're getting absolutely pummeled by Cleveland and Boston and Houston, well, actually, those are three pretty good teams, three pretty good offenses. Well, now you got to face the Dodgers, one of the absolute best lineups and offenses in baseball. Bad time for Corbin Burns to not only be struggling with the playoffs approaching, but bad time considering he's going against probably one of the toughest lineups he's faced of any this season. And he's not in good form at all. Just the last two starts alone, he's given up 14 runs, 18 hits, and 9.2 innings against Boston and Houston. So not good at all from Corbin Burns. And you don't have to tell me how bad Buehler's been, since he's been back in the rotation. He just can't get his shit together. He's not pitching deep. He's given up a ton of hard hit contact. Home runs have been a problem. He has a 5.68 ERA since rejoining the Dodgers rotation, an 8.74 ERA for Buehler just in the last three starts alone. Baltimore, a good enough lineup that they can do some damage. And the total here is a respectable 8.5. It's not an overly high total. I think it goes over this number. Orioles and Dodgers over 8.5. I'd actually lean to the Orioles a little bit, just because I think Corbin Burns, there's still probably longer term upside for him. I think he's going to eventually find it again and get off this little skid that he's been on. I'm not so sure about Buehler. All the injury setbacks, and now he's 30 years old. He may never be what he once was. And that's concerning, obviously, for the Dodgers, because at one point this guy looked like he was going to be, one of the best pitchers in the big leagues for a very long time. And now we're not so sure he's ever going to get back to that level again. Great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. IceX, yeah, if you were on the Pirates, man, that is terrible. Sorry to hear that. That's just terrible. But thank you for joining us in the chat. Jorge as well. Hit the like button. We appreciate everybody joining us on Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube. For Bet with Bobano. Just a couple of channel announcements. If you haven't tuned in already to it, Monday, it was me and Connor Mack hitting the books, college football show, all the weeknight games, many of the Saturday games, the marquee Saturday college football games, previewed from a betting perspective. Me and Connor Mack, and that show is live every Monday during the college football season, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Although next week, we will not be doing the show on Labor Day Monday. We will be doing the show Tuesday next week instead at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and then we'll go back to Mondays after that for the rest of the season. But again, hitting the books, college football show. You guys know it. You love it. It's our fourth season doing the show. It's at our own dedicated Hitting the Books channel, although it is also simulcast on my own channel. Hitting the Books, college football show, me and Connor Mack. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. The Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy show for the CFL for this week. It's Labor Day weekend, Labor Day rivalry weekend in the CFL. And an exciting amount of games because of all these rivalries. And we will have the CFL edition of Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy posted later today. I just wanted to clear up, too. I said initially for Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy, we would have a college football show, an NFL show, and a CFL show every week. We won't always have a college football show every week, only if there is a guest that is joining me or wants to join me for a college football show. Some weeks, so we will have some weeks there will be a college football show, and if so, it'll be on Tuesdays, but it won't be every week, because I quickly realized after doing the Hitting the Book show on Monday with CMAC for 3 hours, I'd be fucking regurgitating and repeating everything I pretty much said on the Monday show, on the Tuesday show. It'd be redundant, so that's why I said, you know what, let's do Hitting the Books, and if I am able to find a guest to talk college football, aside from that show, then we'll do a Tuesday college football show. But it won't be every week, because I find if I did it every week, a Tuesday college football, Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy show, I'd just be repeating the same shit I said the day before with Hitting the Books on that show with CMAC. So we're not always going to have a college football show every week, but we will continue to have weekly CFL shows for Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy on Wednesdays, and we absolutely will have an NFL show every Thursday for Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy, and we have a lot of guests lined up for that throughout the course of the season. And the first NFL show for Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy will be next week, just prior to week 1. Of course, the season kicks off Thursday, September 5th with the Chiefs and the Ravens, a great matchup to begin the season. So looking forward to the NFL version of Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy starting next Thursday, September 5th, as week 1 of the NFL arrives. And again, one last time, as far as the subscriptions, 1 month All Sports, $75. 3 months All Sports, $200. 6 months All Sports, $400. 1 year All Sports, $750 at Dub Club, dubclub.win/r/Bobano. Yes, I have a high volume approach. Yes, it is it's an approach that works though for me. And you can get on board with that. Every wager, side total, player props in every sport. And last but not least, one last time, the folks at BitWallet want to make sure we hammer home this point. I mean, let's get some signups going. Try it out. If you have cryptocurrency, make sure you get on board. bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. This is a great sports book for people that have cryptocurrency availability. You can deposit any type of cryptocurrency you want. Sign up for an account using that affiliate link, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian, and you will be eligible for a 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at BitWallet. Make sure you sign up there. Again, it's got all the major sports betting options, pregame, all the major sports, North America and international. You'll also get, of course, live betting, same game parlay live betting. That feature is so cool, so amazing, terrific to have that. And also live dealers for all the casino games. So again, cryptocurrency, sportsbook, and casino, BitWallet. Sign up using that affiliate link. And again, you'll get a 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at BitWallet. All right, best bets. We're on a nice little run here this week with best bets on the show. We had the, what did we have last night? We had the Padres team total over. We cashed that. We had the Guardians and the Royals over the total on Monday. We cashed that. So we're 2-0 this week. Let's see if we can keep it going. We're going to that late game. I'd be stunned if that's a game that is low scoring with the way the pitchers are and the way their form is right now. Neither is in any good form. Both lineups are very capable, especially when they're on their game. We're going to look for over 8.5 tonight in Chavez Ravine, Baltimore Orioles, LA Dodgers, over 8.5, -115. That is going to be my best bet here for this Wednesday edition of Bet with Bobano. All right, we appreciate it very much. Shout out to everyone tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button on the way out. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. Bet like Tony Soprano. Bet with Bobano. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of Bet with Bobano.